Hi there, welcome back to the Dylan Rounds case. Today got a bit of a small update and as well a strange post by Justin Rounds which potentially highlights hidden guilt. What's it all about? Well, I'm going to present it all to you today, analyse, give you my point of view, my thoughts, and you can share your thoughts down below in the comment section. And for those that are currently here in this live premiere, welcome. Be sure to let me know what you think in the live chat box on the right hand side of the screen, and you can talk about a range of other things in between. Now, if you're interested in the recent conflicts or the recent videos by me and you need to catch up, top right corner of the screen, I symbol, click on that and you'll be redirected to the previous videos so you can catch up. And down below in the comments section, you'll also find a pinned comment by me with additional links regarding my channel if you want to show some form of support. Okay. And speaking of support, shout out to Cleo recently, last night, for her support. Big support. Shout out to Cleo. Very good of her for that. And as well, the odd other individual in recent time too. Just keep that momentum going. And like with Dylan Rounds, we're focusing on this case today. Nothing else, just the Dylan Rounds one. So that'll probably be good news to some people. Take in mind that this video wasn't planned for today. It just happened, the post, the updates. So I wanted to combine it all as one now to present to you. And the order of what we're going to do it in, we're going to go on Facebook first. We're going to look at the post by Candace Cooley and some questions too. And I believe it's in regards to Dylan's legacy and that Etsy store where you can buy items and support Dylan, the memory of Dylan's legacy, in which money proceeds raised will be put towards other groups out there, such as the Canine Task Force unit with the cadaver dogs and much more. So it's going to good causes. We're just going to see what it's all about. If there's any, the updates, what's going on there, and the other questions too. Once that's done, then we can move on to the bit about Justin Rounds, which could be of interest to some people, so don't go anywhere. And then at this time, I might even briefly hover on the map regarding some other suggestions, okay? So with that all being said, let's get straight into the updates on this case. Here we are. I'm just going to scroll down to Candace Cooley first of all. See a couple of posts there, and there'll be the odd name as well just above that will spark some interest within some people, as there was references made in terms of Bob Farrell, so we'll get there. But first of all, this was 22nd of January. Let me just come across it. Candace Cooley saying, "Thank you for all the support in getting Dylan's legacy up and running. Wednesday, we will be changing some items and closing others down so I can get everything put together and shipped. If you have not had a chance to get the items you want from this round of items, you still have time this week. Unfortunately, we do not have an actual update on Dylan's case, but trust us when we say there are some things going on that cannot be publicly announced. We will never stop fighting for Dylan." So I wasn't exactly anticipating a full-on Dylan Rounds update here, but the update regarding Dylan's legacy and the store is present. Now, at this moment in time of recording, by the time my video is up online and when people watch, maybe the store items have changed, because they did say Wednesday, and as you know, it's Wednesday today. I know there's a time zone difference. The US are behind of the UK, so just take that in mind of when I've made this video. But we can check the store out in a second, okay? Just see what items are currently up. Take in mind, I looked at it last time, presented it to you, but unfortunately the site glitched out and, there was some issues with the store, but it's fixed now, up and running, so it should be okay. But I guess, just because they mentioned it, kind of interesting how Candace Cooley says, unfortunately, we do not have an actual update on Dylan's case. So it would come off as not much is happening, right? Dylan's not been found, there's not been any movement. But then Candace Cooley then says, when we say there are some things going on that cannot be publicly announced. So I guess basically suggesting that things have happened or ongoing, but they can't be talked about to the general public. Okay, understand. Though, I wonder what exactly. New evidence found, new items, leads, locations, people of interest, I wonder. Or is it still linked back to months ago now when they did CrimeCon in 2023, when Candace Cooley said to the US Sun that there was some DNA evidence found by cadaver dogs, canine team, and on top of that, beforehand, other DNA evidence was found. Never followed up, never talked about public since, probably for good reason. Maybe it ties in here with what Candace Cooley is hinting at, that some things can't be publicly announced or disclosed, further elaborated. So I get that. I mean, there must be some formal progression going on now in comparison to 2022 when it was more public, more verbal, and Candace Cooley was criticising people openly online. That's not happening anymore. So you would think that there is some form of satisfaction in progress being made and heading in the right direction, right? So as for the comments here, there wasn't really anything of interest. People just saying, you've done well, prayers, support, and all of that. Let's just head on over to the Etsy shop of Dylan Rounds to see what's up, if anything's new over there. Here we are, Etsy store, Dylan's Legacy, as you can see there. It says 66 sales. So 66 items have been purchased and I guess sent out, which is good to see. And 60 people have liked the store page. So it has gone up since the last time we looked. I think when we looked the first time, there have been 19 to 20 something orders. We scroll on down a bit more and then you see the items that are currently available. As said, take in mind some of these items may get taken down, like how Candace Cooley mentioned, because new items will be added and maybe there could be limited stock as well. So what was the stuff what we looked at last time? As for the details, I can't quite remember. Take in mind that the prices do vary and also because of the currency. This is currently in pounds, UK money. It'll differ to you from the US, but as for conversions and stuff, it should be easy to sort out. Now, we looked at the hoodie last time round, if you remember. As for the details, you got the option of having the K9 Task Force unit on the back, or, as you see middle of the screen, Dylan's Legacy, Missing in America, the sunflower badge on the back of the hoodie. So you got two options there. Dylan's Legacy logo remains the same on each option on the front torso, in case you're wondering. And those car magnets and stickers, I think you can get them in different amounts or packs. So you get more than one, maybe 4 to 5 or something. And then you see the price there. Next, you got the stackable stretch bracelets and Dylan's Legacy card decal. So we didn't get to check these out last time because the site crashed. So I guess we'll check them out now. Hopefully it fits on screen. So this is like a display of them in the different colors, like beads. I think I remember seeing them in the past on the Facebook page. And I think all of them have a couple of little sunflower beads on them too. So you can get them in different colours, and they do have the sunflower to represent Dylan Round's legacy and Dylan in general. Okay? A few images as well. I think these are like examples. So as you see on the photo frame in the corners, you got some of the bracelets there. And on top of that ornament, Santa looking gnome thing on the hat area. Any more images? There you go. Got a couple more beads there. Quite detailed as well, with different patterns on and colours. There's an up-close shot. You can see those sunflowers. So let me know your thoughts of these items, whether you're interested, whether you like them or not. And yeah. So I'm scrolling on down. 5 views in the last 24 hours. That means 5 people have viewed the item. You can select the size, Small, 9 to 10 inches. Wow, I didn't know 9 inches was classified as small. Unrelated. You got medium, 10.5 to 11.5 inches. And if you want large, you got 12 to 13 inches. So whatever size you prefer, you've got the options there. And you've also got the options of colour: green, red, blue, white, yellow, purple, as you saw in the photos. Anything on item description: it's a handmade item, closure, tie, materials, porcelain, ceramic, 10mm rhinestone and sunflower beads, can add sunflower or tractor charms on request. So you can have it customized. That's interesting. Any other descriptions of any sort? I don't think so. I think the last one we need to look at is this. So this is to do with the car decal. As you see, bottom left corner of this photo frame, I guess it's like a sticker. I think some people have actually used these or bought them in the past from the Facebook page, and they've presented photos online where they've stuck it to their car, their back window, if you remember. There you go. So that's what it looks like. It's a sticker, kind of in grey, I guess. Okay. Item details: handmade 4x4 Dylan's Legacy car decal. I guess that means you get 4 of them, maybe. Anything else? Meet your sellers. No, it seems to be, I don't know what that's all about. Okay. Do the same more. Follow this sharp. Press the back button there and there. So you get the idea of some of the items. And take in mind, it looks like it could be refreshed. New items could be added in time. So that could be of interest to some people. Candace Cooley, the store owner. I think last time you could actually click on it, but it doesn't seem to be working this time round. But there you go. So with that in mind, let's move on to the next post on Facebook. So just above, there seems to be a question here by Gloria saying, how are court proceedings going? Does anyone have any updates on this? Now, from what we've heard, the preliminary hearing will be set for May time, 15th or 16th, lasting 2 to 3 days of 2024. But is there any other updates in between? We'll just have a quick look. So this person says, so sorry, you're always on my thoughts, prayers. Candace Cooley says, the next hearing is in May. Nothing has changed. Now, if you remember previously, Candace Cooley appeared very confident that in May, the preliminary hearing is going to happen. No question. But some people in the background, viewers on this channel and others, maybe Glor and Dylan, correct me if I'm wrong, did highlight and suggest that preliminary hearings can change, can be delayed, and some people have experienced it themselves personally. But Candace Cooley has said it won't be delayed and it will happen. So kind of interesting there. Not everyone agrees. So anything else? Praying every night. I can't imagine the pain you're going through. I wondered from the beginning if you may have known my family because they are from Hazleton. Right. Candace Cooley says, yes, Paul was my brother-in-law. What an awesome guy. He and Dylan were close. We missed them both every day. As Paul passed away. I can't believe he passed. Okay. But some people in the background know of Dylan Rounds. That's interesting. Corinne says, they really drag this out. I just do not like this for any family, for sure. I mean, Candace Cooley said, despite the length of time and the wait, it's set in stone, or it's set in place, so it's something to look forward to as for progression forwards, and that they do have the momentum. That's what they said. Okay, what's this? Wow. Oh, Patsy Rainwater. I remember Patsy Rainwater on this channel. Does anyone else remember her? She says, wow, it's been a while since I have heard anything else on this. Do they ever find him? Well, the thing is, Patsy, that's not been the case yet. There's been DNA evidence found, new DNA evidence. But Patsy Rainwater, if you're present, lurking in the background, make sure to catch up on my previous videos. It's all documented there as for the updates and the analysis on this case, as well as key critical points and links made between differing posts and updates throughout time. Okay? So we've got that. Now, we've got the latest one here from yesterday. And the reason why this is interesting is because it's by Mckin's Place. So what's so special about that account, Mckin's Place? Well, from the other people out there, external individuals away from my channel have pointed out that Mckin is the one responsible behind the fake Bob Farrell account, and that this person has an agenda against Bob Farrell, Jim Terry, and all of them lot, and Kaylee too. Don't know what's really going on there, okay? But I just wanted to provide to you a bit of context behind what some people out there think of Mckin's Place. I don't know who this individual is, okay? But let's just see what they've got to say here. So they say, we keep candles burning every week at Mass to return Dylan to his family and so they are able to find peace and justice soon against his killers. We printed these out, hand them out in Arizona to keep his memory alive, Justin Rounds, Candace, Cooley, and Jazz. Right, so it was just basically letting them know. There's a profile there, okay? Any comments? Thank you for doing it. Okay. Now, the one thing that stood out to me, besides Mckin's Place, the account, which other people are suspicious of, the one thing that stands out to me is that this person says to return Dylan to his family and so they're able to find peace, okay, and listen in right now and focus, and justice soon against his killers. What's that all about? Killers with an S. Killers means more than one individual responsible. And from at least how it's been known and how this case has gone from the family's point of view to most of the members on this Facebook page, it's that common knowledge and belief that it's James Brenner, also known as Jim Brenner, the then 58-year-old going on to 59, who's been responsible for the murder, the death, homicide of Dylan Rounds and the desecration of Dylan's remains, in which Brenner did receive those charges back in 2023, okay? I think it was the 3rd of March. So if people are up to date and this person called Mckin is close to the case or close to the community and close to Candace Cooley, why is this person saying his killers with an S? Was this a mistake made by Mckin, or was it a slip of the tongue that this person, who may be within or have contacts within, knows more than others, but for most part of it, not able to reveal it to anybody else? You get what I'm saying? Now, this could just be a simple mistake, but to say killers would seem very odd and stand out, considering the way this case has gone and the way it's gone formally, legally. It's been James Brenner, the main guy, the only guy, the killer of Dylan Rounds, and nobody else. Granted, people in the community believe others could be responsible. Some believe Brenner is innocent, right? But is there enough evidence to suggest that? Maybe not. But those talks, discussions, thoughts, and theories and ideas are welcome and understandable to an extent. But that would come across as if what Mckin is saying here is kind of like what people have said on my channel and in the community. So is it just a mistake, or is it because this person knows more than others and knows that there are multiple killers involved in Dylan's case? Or is it this person just simply showing a thought and a theory that it's not just Brenner who's guilty, it's others walking around as a free man or free men? Let me know your thoughts down below in the live chat or comment section. What do you think of this post by Mckin's Place? Do you think it's odd, interesting, or just a simple mistake? Not seeing any comments down below. Maybe it's too soon. I don't know if any corrections will be made. I mean, I was half expecting Candace Cooley to leave a response saying, thank you for your prayers and all that. But let's just get one thing clear. It's Brenner who's responsible and nobody else. We've not seen that correction. So unless there's things going on in the background, who knows? Maybe that DNA evidence found the two items with time. New evidence, new leads linking on to different people out there. Who knows? But aside from that, it looks like we've reached the end of this page. So What we're going to do now is move on to yet something else of high importance, an unexpected response from Justin Rounds, the father of Dylan Rounds. Let's head on over to his page. On screen, Justin Rounds' account profile picture has changed to a photo of Dylan Rounds in memory of him holding a dog. And scrolling on down here seems to be either a quote, some kind of media image. We'll get back to the caption of it, the main part by Justin, but this individual here, if anyone knows who they are, let me know. It says single time, not quite sure what that is. Via Instagram, use their negativity to win. Mindset, motivation, self-improvement, masculinity, discipline. Right, so what's that got to do with Dylan Rounds? Let's scroll up. Justin Rounds says, I see this and think of all of the times I shared things like this with Dylan. I wonder if the stupid things I shared with him, I contributed to his demise. If he was here, I would have shared this with him. So I don't know if it's to do with offloading negativity onto somebody else or talking negative in general. It's just because when scrolling down here, it says use their negativity to win. So is it not using negativity for the right reasons or not utilizing it at all? But it just seems as if Justin Rounds is showing a form of guilt here, which is kind of odd because you would assume and think that Justin Rounds did everything he could when caring and looking after Dylan throughout time and did a good job there. And yet Justin Rounds is saying, I see this all the time. I've shared things like this with Dylan in conversations. I wonder if the stupid stuff I shared with him contributed to his demise. His demise, outcome, right? Downfall. Death. Is that what it really means? Does Justin Rounds feel? It seems as if Justin Rounds feels that whatever he said to Dylan in the past led to Dylan's death. That sounds pretty far-fetched and extreme. Now, in a completely different circumstance, okay, if we're basing the outcome of Dylan, and that's what it's to do with the demise of Dylan, in a separate standalone situation and case, if there was like a suicide of somebody and the family felt guilty because they felt they could have done more, they should have looked for the early warning signs. It's not always possible to do. They've done what they've could at a point in time, but people can still feel guilty, right? Like they could have prevented this from happening. Maybe one of the family members was being a bit negative or hard on the daughter or the son at times, and that's what led to the son or daughter wearing down, breaking down, feeling negative and not knowing what to do, so they end their life. And that one of those parents who could have felt responsible for the outcome and the suicide of that individual. It would make a bit more sense there as for the guilt. But here, why does Justin Rounds feels responsible for Dylan's outcome or the downfall of Dylan or simply the death of Dylan when it was out of his control? Because at the end of the day, apologies about that, it's a cough. At the end of the day, when it comes to Dylan Rounds, he was doing his own thing of his age, classified as an adult, I guess. So the family couldn't literally control him or pull him back like that exactly at the time of around his death. Dylan doing his own thing, getting on with stuff, right? And the way Dylan died was he was murdered from how it's been worded, and the person responsible highlighted James Brenner within proximity to Dylan at the time. Justin doesn't live in Lucin. Justin's further away doing his own things and got his own other responsibilities. Can't be in two places at once. Justin, in the situation it was in and the timing, Justin wouldn't have been able to stop Dylan from being killed, right, by Brenner at that time, at that moment. Okay, when you look back before that and you reflect on the past, saying how should have been a bit more control and should have stopped Dylan from moving out there, I guess, you can look at it in that way. But I don't think it's mentioned here in that sense. There seems to be a different form of guilt shared here. And, I'm just going over it because it's kind of surprising to see, right? But then again, these might be the different stages of grief. You go from sadness, anger, frustration, feeling lost, feeling confused, to then blaming others or blaming yourself. And maybe it happens in different orders with different people, right? I mean, at least from my opinion perspective, I don't think Justin Rounds is responsible for Dylan's death at all. As for Candace Cooley, I don't think so either, right? As for, avoiding the future, if you look back from the past, those early warning signs, red flags of Brenner showing signs of threatening behaviour, threatening to kill Justin Rounds, maybe that should have been looked into more. But that aside, that's not what's mentioned or referred to here. This is like personal conversations which took place between Dylan and Justin in the past. And Justin feels that that's the reason and outcome for Dylan. Let's just see the comments. Right, so Andy says, no one contributed to his demise but the piece of crap that's sitting in jail. Never think for a minute that it isn't 100% Brenner's fault. Response-wise, agree. Took the words right out of my mouth. Ray's an amazing person. Right, so there's not really many comments here at this moment because it's still fairly recent, okay? But I just want to know your thoughts on this post by Justin. Do you agree or not? Are you surprised by this? Let me know. Now, I'm not too sure if it will happen, but with time, we've seen some in the community that have been skeptical of Candace Cooley and even Justin Rounds as being responsible or something for Dylan's outcome. People have been pushing that narrative. I think Jim Terry and certain audience members in the past and still have pointed out or labelled Justin Rounds being responsible for choking out Dylan in the past physically. I don't know where that exactly comes from, where the proof is. I don't know if it's to tarnish the family's name, to cause disruption, or they supposedly found some material down the line. It just seems a bit messy, but let me know your thoughts down below. I'm just thinking, people like that and others out there that could be skeptical of the case or family members, are they going to see this post by Justin Rounds and interpret it like it's some kind of secret confession, that there's some form of hidden guilt being revealed, that Justin Rounds feels responsible for Dylan's outcome, and in the eyes of some people out there, not me, but others, feel that that's because it's true that Justin is responsible. What's going on here? I think, just from my opinion, it might be just a different stage of grief where there's a bit of guilt being felt, could have done more, should have said different things in the past because it could have changed the future. I don't think it would have directly changed the future quite how you'd expect it to. To say it is where it is would seem a bit cold, but in terms of how you could have changed the timeline of things, I don't think it would have made a difference. Even if you, let's say, was positive to Dylan or showed a different type of reinforcement, different types of conversations, at the end of the day, if Dylan was fixed on farming, determined and passionate about it, and he had a location in mind, such as Lucerne, he still would have done it. And even if he had a greater, more positive mindset or a greater, more resilient mindset, it wouldn't have stopped Brenner directly doing what he did, right? So would you say it's inevitable? With certain factors, I guess inevitable. It's not a good way of saying it, but how else can you word it, right? But I just feel that there'll be some people out there that will be interpreting it differently, maybe in a darker way, thinking, is Justin Rounds confessing to something? Is he hiding something? What's going on? That might be going about in certain discussions, so just be prepared for that and let me know whether you agree or not with it. As for Candace Cooley, I don't think there's been much signs of regret there. I mean, if we're talking about unusual or unexpected responses and comments besides what Justin Rounds has just recently said, saying how the things I said to Dylan had led to the demise and death of him, that's kind of shocking to hear, because how can you go from, this case being treated as a homicide case, this case being treated as true crime, a murder case by the hands of a person that lives out there, James Brenner, and then the father involves himself just now and says, because of what I said in the past, this is why it led to Dylan's death. How's that even possible? So I guess it must be grieving, a strong reaction, maybe irrational thoughts, but it's just part of the process. Let me know if anyone can, follow up or elaborate with that. There might be the odd person that is an expert there, okay? But that aside, with Candace Cooley, her unusual, odd response in the past was a part of a common thread, I believe, and she worded it something along the lines of, it was as if Dylan's life cut short was meant to be. That Dylan only had a short time on this earth, but it was meant to be that way. And he still managed to accomplish a lot and more than others in an entire lifetime. It was worded something like that. It has been documented on my channel in the past. Some people may remember it word for word. But it was just like the way it was worded by Candace Cooley. It was like it was planned for Dylan to live a short life. Planned to die and to be murdered. It's just maybe the way I interpreted it at the time, maybe it was misworded or maybe just misinterpreted. Either way, it just came across a little bit odd, right? Being posted at the time. So, if you compare the two together, you got Justin Rounds feeling responsible for Dylan's death based on what he said to Dylan in the past. And then you got Candace Cooley feeling as if it was meant to be for Dylan to die, but make the most of life at the time. How would you word this? How that was summarized just then could arguably tie in line with what some people out there are pushing as for a narrative that the family are involved in the death of Dylan. Do I think that's the case? No. But in terms of how I just interpreted it there, it kind of links, doesn't it? So it's a bit of an awkward situation, if I'll be honest with you. But just let me know your thoughts down below. I just think it's probably just different stages of how people are thinking and feeling, even if it is irrational thinking. It's just being documented as we go along because it is all in relation to Dylan Rounds. I just wanted to share all this with you. And I said in response to the Dylan Rounds store, by the time you see this video, by the time you go on the website yourself, items may have been removed, new items may have been added, just as a heads up, okay? Because this video was recorded earlier. And take in mind once again, some people complain or highlight that I don't include people's comments. Well, clearly, at the time of when I made a video, your comments may have not been posted at the same time, so there's a difference in timing. Take that in mind. I can understand if people were assuming that if I was doing an actual live stream, real time at that moment, then it should include all the comments from the previous days and on the day of doing the video if people posted before the live stream. I get that. These are not live streams. These are pre-recorded videos set as a live premiere, right? And I've got to repeat myself a few times. Hopefully the outsiders and others understand what that means, okay? Now, with that all in mind, I'm just going to briefly hover on Google Earth Maps just to inquire about a certain question. Of course, I've not been on here for some time. There's not been as much to do. It has proved useful though, Google Earth, for, telling the stories, narrating the events and how certain stuff played out on certain dates, days, years, right? Got loose in. Satellite imagery has not changed since, but the layout of Google Earth has, as you can tell. It's a little bit annoying, but not much I can do about it. Zoom in here, still outdated here, but on Bing Maps it is different. Google Maps, maybe that's up to date too. Well, not quite up to date, but 2022 onwards as of when the case unfolded and happened. But my question to you people watching right now and those on catch up, right? Is there any locations within Lucin or outer skirts, maybe even Montello on this side of the border, Nevada, Any locations you would like me to look at on the maps, to analyse, to get up close with, to compare, contrast, to give you my thoughts on the matter of a location, whether it be where Dylan could be at, where items were taken, like spring cleaning, those stuff, pieces of evidence, or other unusual activity with him. If there's any locations on this map, let me know down below. Now, as for the named locations, right, Bald Eagle Mountain there, Pilot Peak here, the town of Montello there, Little Pigeon Mountains here, I believe. Yep, Little Pigeon Mountains here. Oh, you saw it there. Yep. Dylan's farm here. The pond near to Dylan's farm in between there and Pigeon Mountains there. The wash, as you see in brown there, as it goes in and out. Grain shed property there. Lucin Pond down here, as you've seen. Supposedly Don Hatley's place of living here, or roundabout. Just away from the pond, near that red marker. Lucin Airport here. Ivo Zadovsky, whether he lives there or not still. Grouse Creek up there. With a wash that does travel on down, in and out, as you see here. Which goes into Lucin. Down here. There. That wash there. Okay. I'm just putting these locations out just so you're familiar with and aware of. To make sure we're facing north exactly. Rabbit Spring here. The reservoir there. And then up the road, I believe this way, Owl Spring, pointed out by Bibbins in the past. That little parking spot there with the trees, vegetation covering. These are all the locations I've previously looked at, okay? Is any locations like that you want me to look back at because there are new findings, new activity, new information, stuff you've heard of? Let me know down below in the comment section. If it's none of those locations, but there's other places you would like me to look at, let me know down below and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay? It can be a standalone map analysis video, a place of interest video, places that need to be searched, where certain events went down, whatever it may be. If you got ideas, you got some form of knowledge, you've learned something new, let me know down below and maybe I can take a look at it. Okay? All in all, hopefully you found this video of interest, you enjoyed it. Let me know down below. Be sure to like and share this video. The like button down below, the thumbs up. And feel free to share it to spread the awareness of Dylan Round's case, to help keep it alive and in the search terms, and even leave comments down below to help with the engagement so YouTube can push this video and push the message from Candace Cooley and the post of Dylan's legacy, Dylan's store. I'll try and provide a link down below to the store in case you want to check it out. So it's just about trying to push it out there, keep things alive, because I know I've not done as much coverage on Dylan recently because there's simply not been as much to do. This video today was all on the spot because it was like recent posts. I just wanted to cover it as soon as possible so then you're informed about it, because I know not everybody will have access to Facebook or look over in that direction. So with that being said, I think we'll leave it there for now. We'll see what happens next. I'm still trying to get around to doing Kenny Veach when I can. The cough, not as bad today compared to yesterday. A little bit tickly here and there when I talk, so I just got to try and hold it back. Maybe I think the work is getting done next door. There's some stuff outside items, but I think they've got the noisy I think they've got the noisy stuff out the way now, so maybe it won't be as bad. Now, is there anything else to highlight? Not that I'm aware of. As I said, this video was focused on Dylan Rounds and legacy. Hopefully not as much disruption tonight. Arguably, there might not be as many people present or the same familiar people, but that's just because, you know, those people aren't as locked on with this case, and that's what you'd expect, right? So it might be less in numbers, but greater in focus. So I think it's all good, end of the day. And just let me know your thoughts. Do you feel suspicious all of a sudden towards Justin Rounds, or do you feel sorry for him in terms of how he feels he's responsible by putting the blame on him? Let me know your comments down below. We'll leave it there for now. Goodbye and good night.